What age were you, Brendan, when you joined the Jesuits?
I was exactly 30 years of age when I joined the Jesuits.
What were you doing before that?
So I used to work in software development. So I used to work for an American computer company in the south of England, and then I worked in Australia for 2 years, and that's where I met the Jesuits, ironically, in Australia, and got to know them. But I had become very disillusioned with the corporate life, you know. We used to call it the yuppie life back then, you know. Even though I had everything on the surface, you know, they had the girlfriend and the sports car and the house and a great job and loads of trips to the States and all this. But I just was not satisfied. Something inside myself was empty and longing for something more, and it took me a long time to figure out what was happening, to figure out that there was something wrong, first of all, and then to figure out that there was something I needed to do to fill this pressing need, you know, the need for some kind of satisfaction or meaning or direction, you know. So that's why I went to Australia originally, was to search for the meaning, what's going on here, what's this about, why am I not happy in this thing that everybody else thinks is great, but something inside me doesn't relate to this. So I went on this journey to have a look at what's inside myself and what I'm about and what I'm going to do with my life. So that's where I came across the Jesuits. I was in a Jesuit parish in Sydney, and I went back to Mass. I have not been to Mass for years, and this very charismatic Australian Jesuit, David Rankin, was preaching one day, and just really captured me, you know, captured me, this sense of freedom and this sense of charisma that he had. He was preaching a message not about himself but about something bigger than himself that was enormously attractive. I found it totally engaging, and I sought him out after Mass, and I was chatting to him and got to know him quite well, and I used to go around and visit him, and we would talk about stuff. And I now realise this was a kind of spiritual direction, but at the time it was just me trying to find a way. So we talked a lot about the story of the blind man in Mark chapter 10, where he's sitting at the side of the road, and he hears Jesus coming past, and he's shouting, you know, "Son of David, have pity on me." And I prayed with that story a lot, and then eventually come to realise I was the blind man at the side of the road. I was the one that was lost and looking for direction, and Christ had found me, you know, and was offering me this invitation to something better and something bigger.
And that eventually led to you joining the Jesuits.
Eventually that led me to that decision. It was a very slow process, and it took a number of years. And and it was a very simple thing in the end. It was just a simple sense of feeling at home. It was a sense of a homecoming, just a very simple sense of an underlying sense of being at peace inside myself that I hadn't had before, that it was just worth more to me than any material possessions or anything that the world could offer, you know. So I haven't looked back since, really, you know.